Good morning, folks, and welcome to the first ever Fast Break Men's Basketball with Coach Tyler Sanborn. I'm your host, Benton Heck. Coach, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me, Benton.
So we'll get into kind of, what your expectations are for this year, and then we'll talk about the game against Greensboro on Saturday. So kind of the first thing I noticed, you got 8 players back who either started or played most of the time for you, and I know you have a transfer from Catawba, Tay Drummond, who is starting as a transfer. So what do those guys bring back to the table for you?
It's just nice to be able to have a little bit of continuity. With the way that we run our program, we have 29 players right now, and obviously in the first few weeks, that requires a lot of patience as far as the way that we are doing things and learning, and all the things that we try to implement within schematically what we do. So it's been nice to have a lot of guys back and those aren't the only guys back. We also have 4 other guys who have been in our program. So it's nice to be able to have the continuity of those guys understanding what's happening. They understand what I want. They understand how practice should run. So it's been good to be able to get off to a little bit quicker start because of that. And obviously, with the 29 guys, it's still the way we do things, we crawl. We really try to focus in on the details and slow down a bit and do things in a very detail-oriented manner. So it's been a little bit, but it's been good. It's been good.
All right. So what are your expectations for this year as a team?
I think with the guys that you mentioned, the 8 that are back that are playing significant minutes, and the guys that are back that have been within our program, it's just nice to have a feeling that we can compete. I think our league's gonna be really good. It's good pretty much every single year. Randolph-Macon's ranked top 25 or number 1 in the country right now. We have 2 other teams that are ranked in the top 25. So, it's been it's a tough league. I'm just excited to be able to get out there and have an opportunity to play against those teams. And I think that we're capable of being able to, compete and play for a championship.
All right. Well, I hope you guys are able to do that. So fans are allowed back in the gym this year. I know last year was kind of a weird year with COVID. You guys didn't have any fans for home or away games. How does that affect you at home and away games?
I just think it gives our guys a little bit more juice. It's nice to be able to have a little bit of support in the gym like we did on Saturday. Last year it felt really, really weird. We were playing pretty much, it felt like scrimmage games. Right. And when you have those, either students are on campus and in the gym or your family's there, it just adds a little bit more of energy to the building. And it was nice to be able to have that. We played 2 games, 2 Division I exhibition games against Davidson and Coastal Carolina, and they had really good crowds. And I think it definitely added to the environment and atmosphere and definitely helped our guys.
So Christmas break is going to be next week. You only have 4 home games, which it's not too bad, and you have 9 away games. So you're not going to be at home often, where you're likely to have very few students and few local fans. So that's kind of one thing that with your schedule I noticed kind of benefits you a little bit, because I know in years past there have been quite a number of home games over Christmas break, less fan support.
Yeah, and with the way that the academic calendar is this year, we're going to spend a lot of time here that school's not in session. So we're going to have to get used to it and just fight through that. We talk to our guys. We have to bring our own energy anywhere that we go. It's Division III basketball. It's hit or miss as far as the environment that's going to be. Wherever we play. And a lot of times when we travel, we're not going to have a huge following. So we have to bring the energy and the juice, and that starts within what we do in practice. Just being able to come in every single day, and our guys are communicating, talking the right way, encouraging. We have, like I said, 29 guys within our program right now, so we should be able to have our own little fan base. But I definitely think it affects us. Being on the road that much and during the Christmas break, I think is a good thing for us. It's going to help prepare us for the meat of the conference schedule, and not having our conference home games during that time period is also probably a good thing, and be able to have those in the second semester when the students are back and we're able to have a little bit better atmosphere.
There we go. So first game was on Saturday. Tough loss. You guys, were in it for the most part. Kind of a rough stretch at the end there, but Kwan led all scorers with 32 points. I don't know if you know this, but he was 1 3-pointer away from tying the single game record and 2 away from breaking the single game record. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I knew. I think it's 9 or 10. I guess is going to break it.
Yeah,
but
10 would break it.
So I think 9's the record, and he's been close before. He's an unbelievable shooter. He puts a lot of work into it. and he's very, very efficient from three as well, which, he takes some tough ones and makes some tough ones, but, the guy can put the ball in the hole.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of your leading rebounders last year. He's also your first ever academic All-American. So, props to him.
Kwan is great. I mean, he's provided a very consistent, this is how we do things type leadership this year, and he's been great for our program the past 2 years. The first year I think it took him a little bit to get his feet wet and adapt to kind of the way that we do things, but last year and then the first part of practice this year in our first few games, I mean, he's been unbelievable.
All right. Well, you had some other players, join in. You only had 2 players scoring double figures. Kwan and Darius kind of led the scoring. Greensboro, 4 out of their 5 starters scored in double figures, and that kind of hurt you a little bit there on the defensive side.
Yeah, I just think that, it's still so early in the year that we're still trying to figure out our identity. And, even with 8 players back, I think a lot of, in the past 2 years when we've had a little bit better years, we still do this where we come out and, Greensboro plays a very hectic style of basketball where they're just getting up and down. They almost want to make it a pickup game. And our guys kind of feed into that. So I think we got caught up in that, and we weren't really detail-oriented in what we do, especially on the offensive end. And then defensively, we allowed our turnovers turn into points for them, which was a big, big issue. I think we gave up 25 points on turnovers. There's a lot of little things that we did not do well. Now, we aren't too far away, but, there's some things that we just have to tighten up, defensively especially. And then offensively, I think we need to be a little bit more patient and work the ball around some more. And the style of basketball that I enjoy and I think is good for us is just going to be, every possession we're going to get the ball side to side. We're going to get a paint touch. We're going to play inside out. And, I don't think we did that very effectively, even though we scored 79 points. And 79 points for us, comparative to the past 2 years, is a good number. And I think that's going to help us. I mean, we're going to be able to win a lot of games scoring 79 points. And we were pretty efficient, shooting 43% from the field and 42% from three, made 16 threes. So I think that there was some really good individual basketball plays, especially Kwan had a good day. And, there was some also good stuff out of what we do offensively, but we're just going to have to tighten up in all the details that we do, and I think our guys understand that. And after our film session today, I think they'll really understand that. But it's the first game, and a game like that for us is tough just because of the way their style of play, and we kind of feed into it and play with them instead of do what we do.
Hard to play your game when someone else is playing differently. Yep. You talked about your turnovers. You did have 17 turnovers to 17 assists. I know that kills you. Kind of not what you were looking for. Free throws. Last year was a bit of a problem for you guys as a team. You shot 57.6%. Saturday you shot 70%.
Better, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
You only attempted 10 free throws. Greensboro actually had 26 attempts at the free throw line.
And I think that's, again, kind of the details of what we do defensively. We want to protect the paint, and we want to work on making sure we're closing out, keeping guys in front of us. We want to force tough perimeter jump shots, and we just did not do a good job. We just kind of bought into what they do, and to me that was the biggest issue. I thought our guys, we were just doing things that are uncharacteristic of what we ask, and it's unfortunate because we spend a lot of, 60-70% of our practices are on defense, and come out and have a performance like that. I was really frustrated, but it's something that we can learn from and grow on. There's a lot of things that the guys are going to see in film, and I think it's going to be a good, I guess, teaching lesson for them.
All right. Yeah, free throws definitely better. I know there are several.
Yeah, we shot free throws well in the first 2 exhibition games, which was nice to see. Mm-hmm. It's not something that I'm beating down guys about just because I don't think they mean to miss free throws. We work on them, we shoot them, so it's not something. I think last year was more of a mental block. You're in a quiet gym and there's not many people there.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit into your head. So I think having the crowd back will probably help us a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely so, because you did shoot under 40% or lower 3 times at the free throw line.
It was rough, yeah.
I looked at the stats in some games. In those 3 games, you would have won 2 of them.
Yeah. So. If we just shot, and that's what we talked to our guys about last year. Is like, hey man, we're 7-6. We're 4 possessions away. We lost 2 games on buzzer beaters, and then as you mentioned on free throws, so we could have been 11-2, and then you're probably nationally ranked. It's just that's basketball, but at the same time, our guys again, we have to do all the little things the right way. And free throws is a big part of the game, and we need to get to the line. And I think we can score from the line, but when you get up there, you got to take care of the opportunity.
All right. Well, you started out the second half pretty hot. Went on a 15-0 run to take a 62-48 lead. So that was a great start to the second half. Then Greensboro kind of brought it back, and then for about 4 minutes, didn't have a single point, 4 turnovers, and Greensboro tied it back up.
Yeah, and I think we came out. Obviously, at halftime, we did not play the way we wanted to in the first half, so we talked about that. And I thought our guys came out and did what we do offensively. And when we're scoring buckets, we're more apt to guard defensively. And then when things start to go bad, we kind of folded a little bit defensively. And I think that was the biggest issue. We try to one-up them a lot. And that was, again, what I consider us buying into the way that they play. They're going to come down and jack shots, and they made a lot. And credit them, they made a lot of shots. They made some tough ones. There's a lot of things defensively that we could have done better, but I think for the most part in the second half and during that little stretch, they were making some tough shots, and I think that really affected us, and it got us out of our rhythm and our game. And in the second half, when that happens and you go down 10, you got to really be able to respond, and we just didn't do it the right way.
Greensboro closed out the game on a 23-11. Scoring possession there. So you guys did unfortunately lose a tough game that I thought a few more plays probably could have gone your way.
And I just think a little bit more consistency. That was the biggest thing to me, is like just be a little bit more consistent in what we do. Giving up 60%, 58% from the field is we're never going to be successful. And our guys understand that, I hope, and we're going to have to learn from it and get better from it. I don't think we gave that up to Davidson or Coastal. So, that's just not acceptable, and it's something that we're going to have to get back to the basics again, and try to really dial in to what we do every single day, and hopefully these guys buy into it. And once we start doing that, I think on a little bit more consistent basis, we'll be in a much better situation defensively.
All right. Well, your next home game is this Wednesday at 7 against Averett before you guys kind of go on a road stretch and everything. What are your thoughts on Averett?
They're well coached. Coach Duino actually recruited me when he was at Virginia Wesleyan way back in the day. He was a heck of a player. I think he was the player of the year in the conference. And he brings a level of toughness to their team that is really good. They're 0-2. They lost to Hampton-Sydney at home. They lost to EMU at home, two of our conference opponents, which they'll be in the conference next year. So, we're going to have to do everything that we didn't do well on Saturday better. And I think that we'll be in a good spot. But they're always talented. They're always tough. They're always going to defend and rebound. So we're going to have a battle on our hands. And these two games, the start of the year, challenge us, especially after Coastal and Davison, where it was really hard to get any type of rhythm. Greensboro just took us out of what we were doing, just their pressure and denying the basketball. Averett's going to play almost a totally different style, where they're going to make us shoot a lot of jump shots, and they're going to defend us and be physical. So it's a good opportunity for us to be able to play against a team that's going to be more like the teams in our league. I think that we'll see what we're made of.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again, Coach Sanborn, for joining me this morning.
Ben.
This was the first Fast Break Talking Points with head coach Tyler Sanborn. Next week, we will have women's head coach Brian Harvey. Again, the next men's home game is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. against Averett. We hope to see you all there.